Greetings, ladies and gentle readers. I'm Dwyer, and I just finished reading me Ashes of the Empire, Keiran, the Eternal Mage, Book 3. And I know what some of y'all are saying. I haven't put out a video on this channel in a little bit. Did I completely stop reading? I didn't. I didn't. I've been a little bit busier than I intended. Ironically, I've been kind of writing my own book lately because I don't know, kind of just have the urge to. And I've been doing a lot more writing when I usually do the reading, so I haven't really released as much. But I did just finish this one, and I enjoyed it. So I thought I'd go ahead and make a little bit of a review on it. Quick little synopsis. We got a cultivation progression novel where the main character gets to the end of his life, and he has not quite reached the heights of power that he had hoped to, so we get a little bit of a do-over. He makes a reincarnation spell and goes back and gets reincarnated. Way later than he intended. Way later than he intended. But he gets reincarnated. Now he's going to do it over again. He is very much a me first kind of main character, but he doesn't have his empathy completely drained away. So he's just not like a murder hobo, I guess you would say, in that respect. He will help those, like if it's convenient to do so, or if he's like talked into it. He's just not a complete sociopath. You're like, no, I don't care, and if you keep looking at me funny, I'm gonna kill you, kind of thing. Like that kind of trope is done very poorly in a lot of lit RPG right now. Let me tell you, and progression, in my opinion. And though we have an element of it, it's not overboard. He's got a family. He cares about his family, helps out his family, and by extension, those around his family. And it's good. It's good. It's good. So where this takes off, for the first time, he ventures beyond the little area he grew up in. He did in the book too as well. Sure. That's absolutely true. But in book 2, he was in like his little town, and then he went to the city right next to his town. Here he's venturing out into other country. I think it says over here too, doesn't it? Finds another civilization. Yeah, he ventures over, finds another civilization. Cool. Blah blah blah. And I've been looking forward to this for a while now. I wanted to see how the author does when he takes the main character and continues to put them in other places other than, where he initially wrote them. How does he interact with people? What does he find? What's the world like? How well is he going to build anything? Like all of these questions, like all of these sorts of questions, all these sorts of questions. And for the most part, it's okay. Like you can see here, there's like mysteries and lies in the civilization that he finds in, which made the book interesting, but at the same time, it kind of made it a little bit mid, and I'll explain that in a minute. That said, I enjoyed. I probably can't do better. So even though I call this mid, I understand it's, better than so much progression that's out there that's just poorly written, badly, or not edited in any way, shape, or form. In fact, he even says here, yeah, he went back and he got this Royal Road thing professionally edited. So good on him. He's taking money that he's getting from the good books, putting it back into the books to make them better. I completely love that. Completely love that. Congratulations. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. But essentially, what happens is, yeah, he gets to a civilization. It starts going okay at first because it looks like he's gonna have to deal with the inhabitants of this other civilization, right? He can't just sort of muscle his way on into everything and, you know, what he says goes just because he's just that star spangled amazing, right? But I mean, that is kind of what happens. Like, even if he has the power to do so, I kind of had a little bit of restraint until he figured out what exactly is going on. What's the power structure like? But no, he's kind of like muscling in, doing what he wants, which is fine. He learns of a schism in the new civilization that he finds himself in, and I hoped for that to be a bit more fleshed out, to see, both sides of like the thing that's going on. We're given like a brief couple of words about the people who are ruling over the place. We don't really see them at all. We don't see any of their like decrees in action, how they rule, or anything like this. We're told that there's schools of learning in here. Those schools of learning are kind of really, really important, but I don't really see any of that either. Um, we're told where he winds up going to has thousands and thousands of people. But we're told that, but we're not really shown it. Like tens of thousands of people, where he winds up, it's kind of a lot of people. It's kind of a lot of people. But we don't really see them. So it's like there's a little bit of, fleshed outness that we don't see. And unfortunately, in my opinion, the reason why we don't see it, because we saw a little bit more in Darrow, that's probably not how you pronounce it, from book 2, but we're not seeing it here. Why? Why? My opinion, it's because of the grand reveal at the end of this book. I think the reason why he didn't take more time on it is because he knew the grand reveal at the end was probably going to render most of that moot anyway. And if he takes the time to really flesh out like the ruling class of this area, how the area he's in is actually operating day to day, and what the people who live in here are actually doing, going about their daily lives. Like, if you take the time to like actually do all that, then the runs the risk of the people you're writing telling a different tale than the one you're going to be creating. So, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. Either way, we see the schism. Not really told really what's going on. We have like a bit of a one side kind of thing about it. So it's really hard to truly get into this conflict because it's not really fleshed out. And even the little tidbits that we're getting don't make a lot of sense. Like, we see 2 people in the story representing this lighter side, and all we know from that interaction is they firmly believe the other side in this war, not war, but in this rebellion, skirmish, whatever, that they're messed up and they need to be eliminated whenever they're found, which immediately had me wondering, is that justified? What do these people do? And then later on, when we're finally showed what these people are doing, it involves murder. Like, a lot of killing, which should have been a red flag or two, that maybe the people that you're with aren't. Maybe, no. Think you might be on the wrong side of this one, my dude. But there's no like actual introspection there, because I think the author is really, really rushing to get to the end of the book and the grand reveal. So that section kind of just felt forced. It was interesting to read, don't get me wrong, but there were plot holes in abundance. There was a lack of critical thinking, if we're going to be completely honest, and not really surprised what happens at the end happened in the end. In fact, the actual grand reveal at the end, kind of knew what was going on there. You can predict it in book 2. In book 2, the grand reveal of book 3. Part of the reason for that, again, is there's not a lot of extraneous detail that we're given. So when we are given a detail, we're given a detail for a reason. So you can anticipate that detail is going to be used later, and it was. It was. Like, they told us about that, not to just give you more of a feeling that the world is lived in, but because this other thing's going to happen later. that's why that's there. So when we aren't really given other details just to make the world filled in and believable, then you can kind of predict the plot twists, and this plot twist was definitely like predicted back in book 2. Maybe even book 1. Maybe book did we find that out in book 1? So that said, I mean, it was okay. It was okay. Again, bit of a mid in my opinion. That said, even mid, better than most progression books out there, hands down. Part of that is probably to do with it being professionally edited, because you can always tell when something comes, fresh from Royal Road directly to Amazon and no editing. And this reportedly professionally edited. Way to go. Way to go. By the way, it looks like the fourth book will be out in January, I do believe it said. So I'll probably be paying attention to that. So if you are looking for progression series that's not terrible, that'll tide you over definitely, won't regret reading, I think this is pretty good. I think this will do you a nice solid. I think this will do you a nice solid. It won't be the greatest thing you've ever read, but it will by far not be the worst. So yeah, pick it up, see if it's up your alley. Either way, I enjoyed. Hope you do as well. And as always, I will see you all next time. Happy reading, everybody.